This topic is near and dear to my heart. Do you have experience in the past, PMS symptoms, infertility, postpartum stuff, tons of inflammation like PCOS, things like that? This is going to be something you are going to want to keep your ears and eyes and pen, take it all in, because this is going to be such an incredible story. My name is Dale LaCure. I love helping families create health, harmony, and prosperity through education, holistic protocols, and opportunity. So I have here with me today Jessica Nielsen and precious baby, 3 weeks old. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for being with me and telling your story, because this is so important for women to understand. It's not normal to experience symptoms like this when this is a natural process that our bodies go through.
Thanks for having me. Okay, kind of a backstory. I am in my 30s now, so if that kind of helps. But I have struggled with hormone issues since I was 12 years old. So I don't have a thyroid because my thyroid went so overactive when I was 12 that we killed it with radioactive iodine. So that was my first hormone imbalance. And then you enter 15, 16 when you start your cycle. And I always had heavy, painful cycles all through high school and college, to the point that I would sometimes stay home because I just wanted to sleep and not deal with it at school. And so that was fun. And then they'd come and go, and you'd go months without one and then have another, which of course, like when you're in high school and college, you're like, yes, I don't have to deal with it this month. And you accept that as normal. But as you get older, you realize that's not normal, that everything should run smoothly. And as you start understanding how your body works, I think like the greatest fear that a lot of us women have is not being able to have kids. And I remember when I was diagnosed with PCOS, before I met my husband, that like my fear was not being able to have kids, that it would take a long time to have kids, that we would either have to adopt or I would have to go through infertility treatments, things like that. And so when I actually got married, like I had told my husband, like, I can't promise that we'll have kids or that it'll be an easy process. And I think that's relatable nowadays to a lot of women who have PCOS and a lot of women who struggle with hormone imbalances. It's a fear of, can I actually have kids? What's this going to look like? So I struggled with 4 years of infertility. I wanted kids right away. So I knew as soon as we got married, like I wasn't going to take anything. I just knew I wanted kids. So for the first 4 years of marriage, I didn't get pregnant. And like I was researching and basically made a lot of lifestyle changes and have found out over the years how much your body needs to communicate and how much basically we have an environment around us that affects the communication process in the body. And so for me, like it took me 4 years to get pregnant. I invested a ton of money and a bunch of testing, was taking a ton of supplements. I can tell you that I changed lifestyle. Like I believe in lifestyle changes too, because our food is full of chemicals, the makeup we use, the cleaning products, just stress. We just live in an environment that doesn't support our hormones. And so if we're trying to figure out, okay, what's affecting our hormones, it's our lifestyle. It's the environment. It's all of that. And then for me, it was figuring out how to get my body to communicate and give it what it needs. I was introduced to Amari. I was introduced to the gut brain access, the protocol, over a year ago. And that has changed my life. Like you're talking night and day difference. When I got pregnant with my daughter, like I was pregnant and that was amazing, but I had low energy and I was taking a lot of supplements to be able to help me have energy and be able to function. And my pregnancy with her went really smooth.
So what caused you to reach out for solutions? Like what was happening at the time after you gave birth to your daughter?
After I gave birth to my daughter, I started having postpartum depression. But I'm talking like postpartum depression doesn't hit right away. So like for me, it was when I was weaning her. It was when I was stopping breastfeeding. We were transitioning and I felt disconnected. I felt anxious. I felt not present. I didn't want to play with her. I didn't want to be there for her. I didn't want to be mom, if that makes sense.
Wow.
And I realize a lot of women struggle with that. Like after you have a baby, it's supposed to be perfect and you're supposed to love them. And like I the beginning phases of her being born was easier. It was in 2020, so I was stuck at home. And I think that helped a little bit. It wasn't like it wasn't as stressful to leave the house because you couldn't leave the house. But once everything got back to, basically we were back to normal, and I just felt anxious. Weaning. I didn't feel present. I didn't feel engaged. I wanted to check out. I wanted to watch TV all day and didn't know how to interact. Does that make sense? You feel blah. Is how I would explain it. It's this blah. I don't want to do anything. I don't.
So how did you start researching the gut-brain axis?
I had a friend who was sharing on her stories, which is why I'm like, you got to share, because she was sharing about it. And I was like, we're good friends. We talk all the time. And we had done a different company together before. And I knew that she understood health and all of that. So I reached out and I said, okay, I'm seeing you share about, and the one product that we started with was Edge, because it was when Edge was first launched. And it's like, I'm seeing you share about Edge. I'm seeing you share these women's results. And I'm wondering if you think this would help. And she was like, yeah, you should give it a try. And I was like, okay. I was like, I am a person who will try. You give it to me, I'll try it for 60 to 90 days because I know it takes time. And I got it in the mail. And I remember I was just laying on the couch the day it came in. And I was so tired and just out of it. And I was like, it is 4:00 in the afternoon, but I'm going to try this. Like, it just came in. And I was like, if I don't sleep tonight, then whatever. So I opened the box and I just remember mixing it up and drinking it really quick. And then like 20 minutes later, I was up cleaning my house. And I was like, what? And I was like, I messaged her and I was like, does this really work that quick? Because like, I felt blah all day. Like, I don't want to do anything. Like my house was sitting in a mess. Like, and I was like, I didn't want to play with my daughter. And I was like, Shelly, I just cleaned my house and I'm sitting here playing with my daughter. And I was like, I feel more focused and okay. And she's like, yeah, for some people it can work that quick. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep trying. Like, maybe this is a fluke. And I kept using it and I was amazed. Like, just one product. Edge was my starter. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try the metabiotics. And once I added the full happy juice, the metabiotics and the Edge together, I can tell you I felt like a different person. Like, that is the product I've used. I started over a year ago and it brought my inflammation down. I mean, like, even when I was pregnant, you could see the difference. And before I used it and when I was using it, like, I was at the same weight when I was pregnant, like almost 6 months pregnant, that I was before I started using happy juice.
Wow.
And my inflammation was down. My energy was up. My body didn't hurt because I had struggled for years with just inflammation and pain. I was sleeping. Like pregnant people don't sleep. and I was sleeping. And so I was like, okay, so I will shout happy juice from the rooftops all day long for anyone who's struggling with inflammation, who's struggling with its balanced blood sugars. When you look at the studies, what's in there, it helps with that. That's it. Then coming after having a baby, my delivery with him was so smooth. Like, my daughter's was smooth, but like it was different. It was very smooth. It was like, recovery was very easy. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt relaxed. I didn't feel stressed. And even like when I came home from the hospital, like within a few days, I was like, oh, I could go do stuff. Like, I feel really good. Like, yeah, I'm getting 6 hours of sleep at night and I'm having like a nap during the day because you sleep in like 2.5 hour increments when you have a newborn is what you get. Right. But those 2.5 hours I sleep. Like, I actually sleep. My body actually shuts down. And with my daughter, it didn't do that.
That's amazing.
So the little bit of sleep that I'm getting is amazing.
Quality sleep.
Yeah, quality sleep.
Right. So what's interesting to me too, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
What's interesting to me is the fact that you had trouble conceiving for 4 whole years, and then you've been on the products, balancing your gut, and you end up getting pregnant, which you didn't expect, right? You weren't even thinking like, It took me 4 years to get pregnant the first time. Like, how? I'm not even going to worry about it. And
Yes.
then you end up pregnant like pretty shortly after you had your daughter.
Well, and the other crazy thing is, I'll be honest, I had COVID like a month before I got pregnant with him. So like,
Wow.
I'm like, my body had already gone through a lot, but it was getting the support that it needed. What I've learned is when you give the body what it needs to communicate, it does amazing things. It does what it needs to do.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, because there's a lot of infertility is complex and there's a lot of things that can go into it. I mean, I know people who have genetic issues and things that you have to do a lot more for, but
that's rare.
yeah,
That's rare.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
always like, this is a starting point. Start with the gut, see what it does, see how you feel. Like, this is a very easy, cheap starting point. I will be honest, because if you're going to go into genetic testing, which I've done, if you're going to go into infertility treatments, all of that, that's a lot of money. And so I'm always like, what's it going to kill you to start here and to see if you start feeling better? And a lot of people, I have a lot of people who do start here because it's the easiest place to start. It's something you can do. It's in your control.
Right. And it makes sense. Like if you were taking a ton of supplements, you were feeling a little bit better. But when you address the gut and you rebalance the gut, that, I mean, it puts everything back in balance, right? Your digestion is better. You're absorbing the nutrients that you're taking in. You're absorbing, if you are taking supplements, you're then absorbing them. But if your gut is out of balance, the hormones aren't being produced, the neurotransmitters are not being produced, you're not digesting foods, your immune system is not getting the fuel that it needs to be able to heal itself, which is what it's designed to do, right? So
Yeah.
it does. Everything goes back to the gut. It's a fascinating science. So anything else you want to share? I mean, I love how the postpartum journey with your first was so different from this one.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I would say the only other product that I've added is I take kids' mood at night to help relax and calm down. I've just added that, and that's been great.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
Happy Juice and Kids Mood are my products. Like, if you're going to start somewhere, start with Happy Juice and see what it does for you.
Fantastic.
So,
Oh man, this is great, Jessica. I know you're passionate about this. I'm extremely passionate about it because we don't want women to suffer, right? You don't have to go through the pain and all of it. You know what I mean? There's solutions to get your body back in balance so it can do what it was meant to do in the first place, which is have a normal cycle, like be able to get pregnant, not have a lot of postpartum issues. Like it shows an imbalance.
yes.
Unfortunately, it happens to a lot of women. So we are both here to like shout it from the mountaintops, like do this, do this, do this, so you don't have to experience all that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it is a easy starting point to see if you're going to feel better. And
Right.
I can tell you from everything I've tried, in the environment that we live in nowadays, we just need support. Our kids need it. We need it. We just need it. And Amari's given me products that I can trust, that I know are high quality, that have the sources, the plants, the right amount, everything in it, so that my body can communicate. And then I can go on and live an amazing life.
Right. Well, that we all deserve, right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to end right there. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Your baby is amazing. What
Thanks.
is a boy?
Yeah.
He's like milk drunk right now, right?
Yep. I'm going to go put him in his crib, and hopefully we'll both get a little bit of a nap.
Yes, you go and get a nap. That's so important too. All right, Jessica, thank you so much. You're amazing, and congratulations on a beautiful family.
You have a good
Amazing.
day.
You too.